Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a pan-seared sea scallop in a piccata sauce, and we're going to serve that with a Parmesan and white truffle oil cauliflower mash. And now it sounds really fancy, but it's a really very simple recipe, but it's great because it has a ton of flavor. You get that lemony piccata sauce over the scallops, and then it marries really well with that Parmesan and white truffle oil cauliflower mash. Comes together beautifully. It's also somewhat of a low carb recipe, so if you're doing keto, it works for that. And if you're not dieting, all you have to do is double up on your sauce and serve it over pasta. Yum. So, enough talking. Let's get cooking. Okay, so you'll need 1 pound of sea scallops. This is what they look like. They're nice and large. Do not get the bay scallops because those are small. Once you rinse them really well, we need to pat them dry. Scallops tend to hold on to a lot of moisture, and we want to remove as much moisture as possible. Once you pat them dry, put them back in a bowl. We're going to cover them and stick them in the refrigerator for approximately 30 minutes. The cold air in the refrigerator will help to dry the excess moisture off the surface of the scallop. So we'll start our cauliflower mash. Here on the stove, I have a large pot of boiling water. I'm going to add several teaspoons of salt to it, about 5 to season the water. Next, we're going to add our riced cauliflower. 2 bags. Now I'm using fresh cauliflower. I prefer to use fresh when I can, but you can certainly use the frozen kind if that's all you can find. So we just need to boil this about 4 or 5 minutes, and then it's done. You just need to cook it until it's tender. Perfect. So now let's strain it and drain it. So next we'll add our cooked cauliflower to our food processor. We're going to blend this until it's nice and smooth. That's perfect. I'm going to add some more because I still have room in my mini food processor. Clearly, if you have a large food processor, you could fit it all in at once, but I have a mini one, so I have to do it in stages. Okay, so I'll just add this to a bowl and just finish off the remaining cauliflower. Okay, so I've pureed all the cauliflower, so you can see there's like excess water. So I put the cauliflower in a strainer, place it over a bowl, and then I kind of just move it around, kind of push down just a little bit and try to get rid of some of that excess water. This way your cauliflower mash isn't watery, it's nice and creamy. See all that? So we'll just dump that, get rid of it. Here's a clean bowl. I'll add the cauliflower back to that bowl, and now we can start adding our ingredients. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And then 2 tablespoons of whipped cream cheese. I just like using it because it's a lot easier to work with, but if you don't have whipped cream cheese and you just have a block, that's fine. And then 2/3 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You could certainly add more if you want. Mix that all together. Taste it for seasoning. I'm going to add some salt, about a teaspoon. stir that in. And now we're gonna add a teaspoon of white truffle oil. This stuff's really strong, so you don't need a lot, but it's so good. Just mix that in. Taste again. It's perfect, so there you go, cauliflower mash. Now let's work with our scallops. Here they are. We're gonna add some salt and pepper to taste. Mix that around so it's evenly coated with the salt and pepper. Now let's go to the stove and pan sear them in some butter. On medium-high heat, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of olive oil in the pan. And then we're going to add some butter to that. So here I have 2 tablespoons. So our butter has melted down. I'm going to start adding our sea scallops. Brown them on one side. It should take about 1.5 to 2 minutes. And then just turn them over and brown the other side. I think in total it took me approximately 4 minutes to cook these scallops. Once they feel slightly firm, you can pull them from the pan and just reserve them off to the side. So just finish off searing your scallops. Once the scallops are finished cooking, I like to clean up the pan some. And then to that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of dry white wine. I'm using Chardonnay. And then also a 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And 1/2 cup of clam juice because we're working with seafood, but you can certainly use chicken or vegetable stock. And then 2 tablespoons of capers. And then finally, we'll add 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. Then stir that together and bring it back up to a boil, because then we're gonna add, to finish our sauce, 2 tablespoons of butter. Once you put it in, continue cooking and reducing just for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then the sauce is done. Now, let's plate it. So here I have a plate. All we have to do now is add a few spoonfuls of the cauliflower mash at the bottom. And then we're going to top that with our pan-seared sea scallops. And just spoon over our piccata sauce. A little bit of fresh chopped parsley for garnish, and 2 pieces just to make it look pretty. I'll top it with 1 more scallop and then a little bit more sauce, and we're done. So now, let's taste it. Okay, here it is, guys, our pan-seared sea scallop and piccata sauce and that Parmesan white truffle oil cauliflower mash. Let's taste. Those tender scallops with that buttery, lemony, slightly briny piccata sauce is absolutely fabulous. But the real star here for me is that Parmesan white truffle oil cauliflower mash. It is so delicious. Salud. Well, I hope you guys try and enjoy this recipe. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything. And as always, guys, until next time, bye.